How to Walk Out of Poverty is the title of this one. It's Business Age series, and I'm glad to have you on this platform. A lot of people are in poverty or living in poverty, with poverty and below poverty around the world, and are not aware what it takes to come out of poverty. Some of them are seemingly aware, but some of the things they know on how to come out of poverty, they feel that there are some limitations granted their situations or circumstance that has deterred them from executing or engaging those things they know to help them come out of poverty. Well, in either way, poverty is a thing that is born from ignorance, and poverty, again, is a thing of mindset. So if you want to come out of poverty and permanently, because it's possible, the first thing to do is reset your mind. To reset your mind here has to do with resolution. You have to resolve you are not going to be poor. You are rich. Agree with yourself that you are not going to be poor. No matter who you are, no matter your exposure, no matter your educational background or privileges or whatever limitations, just decide or resolve against all odds that you are going to be rich. You're going to be wealthy. That's the first thing to do. But that's not all. If you only reset your mind and you don't take some other action or a sister action or step further, you're still going to be poor, because what you had will just be trophy or mirage. Let me put it that way. It will not serve you anything. So resetting your mind takes us to point number 2. And the point number 2 is set goals. You're going to set goals that are meant to create money, generate income. Income means money flowing to you, into your account, into your pocket, daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. Set a goal around that. You set a goal that favor compounding of money. What are you going to do that what is coming in is compounded rather than coming in and going out? Like it's coming in from this side, it's going out through that hand. Instead of that, how do you try to accumulate as much as possible? These are your goals. This is what your goal revolve around. The other goal is discipline. What does it take to repeatedly do what you do to generate income? So set a number of goals, realistic goals, achievable goals, and think long term in terms of creating wealth. Think short term in terms of generating money and walking yourself gradually out of poverty. This will lead us to our next point, because if you've set the goals and they're not executed, then we're still not going to get results. So our next point now targets result, and that is point number 3, and the word is sacrifice. You're going to do a lot of sacrifice. What do I mean? Perhaps you are somebody who is of the high status, kind of, in terms of ego, or you're coming from a place where wealth isn't an issue. Maybe for some reasons you find yourself where you are in your low level. You're going to sacrifice. That's humble yourself and come to pick on anything when it comes to income generation now. Whatever you can get your hands at doing, no matter how dirty, provided it's legal, you now engage yourself in doing it because you want to generate money. So whatever it is, at about anything, your target is to create money. And to create money means you have to be doing something. And to do something means you have to do what people need. And what people need may not be what place you in a place of honor. Your target is to solve their problems and get their money as income, revenue generated. Another facet or aspect of sacrifice here that is meant to have you walk out of poverty is you're going to cut down your cost of daily living. For instance, you map out a year or 2, 6 months, depending on the situation around you, how deep you sunk into poverty, how quick it will take you to come out of poverty. 1 full year, 2 full year, you are only eating particular kind of food. You are not going to go for too much, maybe stuff like drinks. So you drink only water, you take food for that period of time. add up the money together. If you're the type that goes for club or events and where you have to spend money or donate money or give out money for people who are celebrating ABC in their lives, anniversaries and the likes, you stay away from them. You're going to be referred to as somebody who is stingy, but it's okay. Be stingy to both yourself and to others during that period of time. Put all the money into savings during that period of time. Let's say 2 years. So you will not giving anybody any kind of donation, any kind of gift, any kind of help whatsoever during that time, because you don't have yourself enough to be able to help somebody out yet. You are the first person who needs to be helped. So help yourself now. Keep all the money. Keep as many dollar bill. Hold back as much money as you can. That's the principle here. Decide that you're going to walk all short distances so that you don't spend so much money on transportation. If you already have a car, be careful with fuel in the car. If it's not worth it, park it. Go on public transport. There are places where you can decide to stop using petrol or fewer consuming vehicles. You start using bicycle just to conserve whatever is coming in. So from that place, you can have enough later and put it into investment. So savings is not enough. All you are doing is what? Savings. And I want to say that savings is not enough. The money is coming, the discipline is there, you're making more daily, and it's accumulating. Yes, that's cumulative growth. When it comes to compounding, it has to be multiplied. So, but since this is saving, it's not enough. That takes us from the stage of sacrifice, which is one of the most critical phase of working yourself out of poverty, whatever you can afford, or that will affect or disrupt your savings plan. You are out of it. Then you prepare now your mind for the next phase, which is a point number 4. Here, you are investing. You want to create something. You want to do something. Either you are trying to start up a business, or you are investing in an existing business with what you have saved, so that what you have saved is going out to create money for you. Most people talk about sending their money to make money, not talking about how to make money without money. And that's the phase we pass through. Doing about anything worthwhile that can give you money. From here, you are talking about sending this money to make money. Or you are part of the system still, but you're setting up something that can now generate more. And in this phase, you can pick whatever your savings can handle and start with. For high income earners, you can go into real estate. And real estate will help you to multiply the money over time once all due diligence is done before diving into it. You can invest in crypto. You can invest in commodity business, retail. We have a lot of retail kings who are very wealthy, multi-billionaires around the world. But remember that you just want to walk out of poverty first before you start scaling to get there. And whatever you do in this 4th phase, in the attempt to walk yourself out of poverty by creating a stream of income for yourself, if you do it right, you can scale it to become a billionaire. Note this. Another thing that I want you to do is that, take note of, is that as you're starting out, your first step is not to create for yourself a luxurious life, but to create wealth for yourself. And if creation of wealth for yourself is the goal, you're going to be depriving yourself of a lot of things in the word delayed gratification, or words delayed gratifications. So money is going to come as you start out, but you are not going to decide to start spending yet. So you see how long you are being stingy to yourself, so to say. The first stage of being stingy to yourself was when you were trying to do something that will generate income. The second phase of being stingy to yourself is when you see the money coming and you are not touching it yet, but you are reinvesting it. So you are living as that poor person we used to know until now. Although you now own a business, but that doesn't make you an entrepreneur yet. Take note of that. Because all multi-billionaires and all multi-millionaires are entrepreneurs, not just business owners. So you just own a business. You can work yourself to become an entrepreneur if that's what you want to have or yourself become. But you want to walk out of poverty. You want to have enough to meet your needs and the needs of everyone around you that you feel like you are responsible for. So work hard to grow your money. So make every money grow. Let every money in your hand be like a seed. And as you are planting it, watch it grow. Don't sit, don't sleep, don't play. Make it grow. So do diligence before you put your hand or involve yourself in any kind of investment during that time. There's a code here. The next phase now comes because now you have made the money to grow another money that is a first generation, second generation, third generation. That's what you're doing, and life is becoming fairly okay or better than before. So what you do here, you're working yourself into stage number 5 that I will technically refer to as the stage where you spend with wisdom. Now you're spending, but you're going to be spending with discretion. So you don't just spend because you see the money coming yet. You allocate specific percentage for spending over a particular period of time of all the profit that is coming in, okay? So let's say you're having whatever kind of profit amount coming in. You've decided that 30% is what you're going to spend, 70% is going to go into investment. That's what you're doing. Or you're going to spend 30%, you're going to be putting 50% into investment and then 20% to service the source of the income. That's good. But never allow your percentage spending to be equal to what you are now putting back into investment if you want to grow your wealth. That's the secret. I was listening to one of these esteemed multi-millionaires who is also a faith man, Pastor Chris, and he talked about even in the early days of his ministry, how he grew the ministry into a multi-billion entity and then himself into a multi-millionaire. He said that when the money was 8,000, they were only spending 3,000, keeping the 5,000, laying it up there. If it was 10,000, they were saving 7,000. It had to be saved. That was how it started. Majority of the people you see living with and in poverty today, in most cases, come from background of bad spending habit. And this is where you have arrived. Stage number 5. The fact that you've been able to work to generate the money, you've been able to save the money, you've been able to invest the money, it is now producing babies. Doesn't mean that you can't go back broke. We have heard a lot of millionaires and billionaires who went broke. So when you've arrived, stage number 4, where your money has become a money tree and it's producing babies, in this stage number 5, do your spending with percentage. Let there be liability column. Let there be asset column. And let your 30% go into liability and let your 70% go into assets. That way, your 30% will grow to become billions, from millions to multi-million to billions in USD or in pounds or in euro or yuan, whatever is your currency. Then your 70% is also growing into that. You see, the mentality we have is that when we start spending very little and we have disciplined ourselves to only spend that little, it will come to a point that that little will be more than our initial 100% that we had always wanted to spend. But if you keep telling yourself that the little is not enough to run your daily life per month and you want to increase what you spend from your profits or your revenue or income, whatever it is you're taking it out of, then your overall revenue will never grow. So instead of increasing how much you spend, think of increasing how much you earn. So you can have a bigger chunk in that maintained percentage, namely the 30%. So if you were earning 100 pounds or $100, and your 30% was supposed to be $30. You see, when you increase it to $200, your 30% now is $60. When you increase it to $2,000, your 30% is what? $600. When you increase it to $4,000, your 30% is what? $1,200. When you increase it to $8,000, your 30% is now what? What? $2,400. Can you see that? So it's £2,400 you're entitled to spending every month. Yet you're only spending 30%. So your target should always be to increase how much you earn. If you can do this, discipline yourself enough to do this, then you've walked yourself out of poverty permanently. Let me stop here. Meet you in my next video.